You know, statistically, sometime the Able sisters have to not sell clothes I want. And at that point I will no longer have to spend the money at their store. Which would be ideal, because I keep spending money at their store. On things like cowboy hats and what looks like a security mall guard shirt. But I think they look really nice together. The fishing pole really completes the look in my opinion. But, you know, the fishing pole is more than just an accessory. We use that to make money. Did you know the seashells respawn kind of frequently? I didn't. So this is, what's his name, Benedict's house, and he has a lot of industrial-themed furniture. Like, he has steel girders over there, or iron girders, maybe. He has a traffic cone, some sort of waste barrel, and that thing on my left is a wave breaker, is what that's called, as I found out. For the longest time I couldn't tell. Are we talking about cockroaches again, Benedict? Are you asking me to... I guess we're doing the cockroach thing again, but this time we're trying to find out who can make a cockroach do the splits first. That sounds like animal torture, Benedict. Anyway, this thing to my left. It's called a wave breaker. Over here, next to the pile of rubble. This gray thing. I'm gonna touch it, just so you know. This right here, this is called a wave breaker. This right here, this is a wave breaker. I really love Benedict's wallpaper more than anything else, by the way. His flooring's kinda nice, too. I'm going to guess there's no specifically construction-themed wallpaper and flooring, which is why the wallpaper and flooring is what it is. It's not necessarily that they don't fit, it just must be a really weird neighborhood. You want us to make our house more funky? You have to be a little more specific about that. We're more going for a classy vibe currently, but when we get new rooms, maybe we'll go for funky. I'm completely lost as to why there's a blue strap on this hat. I'm sure it must serve some function, stylish or otherwise, because otherwise why would it be there, but I'm currently so lost as to the function of the blue strap. Maybe someone can inform me if they own a hat like this what the blue strap does, because it doesn't look like it's holding the hat onto my head or any such thing. It's weird seeing the different one-liners for catching fish between games. I mean, I guess it's nice that they changed them, but usually they're just rewordings of the same thing, or sometimes removing gags entirely. Since you last saw this town, I have tried to freshen it up a little bit. And there's this little nerd named Gabby. She's not exactly my favorite villager. I mean, she's not my least favorite. I barely know anything about her, but she started the conversation with, "I was born under the star of Sagittarius," so... Again, I'm absolutely not interested in determining anyone's personality by their blood type or what star sign they have or whatever the hell random arbitrary thing you can think of at the moment. I'm just really not interested in that. You know, I've been noticing more and more things playing City Folk alongside Wild World, and that City Folk is just a much, much better game in general. Like, in addition to it looking really pretty, the villagers also have better personalities. It looks prettier. It looks prettier. And I have to stress this part. It looks way prettier. But, more seriously, the city being a thing makes accessing a lot of the stores more convenient, like Shampoodle and Crazy Red. And there's also the fact that the city exists at all as a second location to visit. It's small, but it adds some variety. And also, the debt is much smaller, and City Folk, like, much, much smaller. And I think maybe that's because in Wild World you share a house, so the debt is larger under the idea that multiple people would be paying off the same house. And that kinda makes sense, but I also feel like the debt is way too high in Wild World. I think outside of New Leaf, it's the highest debt in the series. Speaking of debt trivia, did you know that in the original Animal Forest, the debt is only around 500,000 bells? I did not until recently. But that's pretty small. Granted, there are only 2 expansions, but it was the first game in the series. I'm kind of glad a fan translation for the original Animal Forest came along. I know a lot of people might not see the point since we got the upgraded version on the GameCube, but the original does have some differences. This is what I meant by freshening up the town, by the way. I'm trying to put some flowers where there's all this bare, empty space. Make it look a bit more lively and presentable. I've seen a lot of people talk about how it's no longer challenging to befriend the animal villagers in newer games, starting with Wild World. Because they're a lot more approachable, they're a lot less mean than they are in the original Animal Crossing. In the original Animal Crossing, it's no secret that most of the villagers kind of act like giant assholes. And apparently a lot of people missed that. And I guess it adds significant character, but I don't want that back. The villagers don't have, like, less personality now than they used to. It's just less aggressive, I guess. It's not like they're less weird, either. If anything, they're more weird in more recent games, but I'm also not sure what they mean about it being less challenging to befriend the villagers, because I always thought the point in the newer games was that, you know, they act like people. I haven't talked to Margie yet. And, like, because they act like people, you're naturally going to get along with some of them and not others, depending on what they say. Like, if they keep mentioning goddamn star signs all the time. And, you know, just like real life, a guy mentions your star sign and it makes you uncomfortable, and then you keep talking to him and he keeps talking about cockroaches. So you decide you're gonna kind of be his friend anyway because he's weird and you like him. It's like is weird. Yeah, I can leave. Clearly you have things you're doing. But yeah, that's kind of like real life, you know, like, this guy makes you a bit uncomfortable because he keeps asking about your star sign, but at the same time, he talks about cockroaches a lot, so how can you not like that? I'm not going to say that exact situation has ever happened to me in real life, because it hasn't, but I could see it going that way. I could see that happening for real. This area down here is kind of weird. It's so closed off from everything else. I'm sure Margie's going to spend a lot of time stuck down here because the way the AI pathfinding works, I'm sure she'll just be stuck here for hours. You know, I asked my brother what genre he thinks this game is, and he responded with life simulation. And that is generally what the game is classified as, and I think that's accurate. But when I was younger, I think I would have called the game an RPG. Because, you know, you do a lot of talking to NPCs, you do a lot of selling and buying items. It just felt more like an RPG to me. And, you know, considering the term RPG is so vague, it still kinda is. I mean, there is certainly a lot of role-playing that goes on in this game. I don't think anyone can argue against that. That much is obvious. You know, this is just exactly what I would want to do in a situation like this, is walk along the shoreline and talk about video games while getting bitten by mosquitoes over and over. Except there are no mosquitoes because it's the dead of winter right now. I know I brought it up like twice already, but there's just something so weird about the difference in fishing between Wild World and City Folk. Like, maybe people wouldn't like that the fishing in City Folk was made so much easier. But flipping between the two and playing them both in the same day, it's such a weird thing. I'm slowly getting used to Wild World's fishing, there's no doubt about that. But I can consistently catch fish every time in City Folk. I've also been getting along much better with Portia, I guess. Sent her some mail with clothes in it lately because she asked for clothes. She likes to talk about clothes a lot, and I mean, we both shop for clothes a lot. the young and immature go around wearing pirate hats, I would still probably wear a pirate hat. I am arguably immature, but I am not young, I think, by her standards. I still have absolutely no fucking clue what that gemstone conversation was about. I don't know what I was supposed to feel or think about any of that. That was just an absolute mess. The flowers here are coming along quite nicely. We'll be done soon with this. And then maybe I'll find another place to put flowers. You know? I won't say the town's big, but there's always more to do. Like cut down that goddamn tree right in front of the flag, for example. I guess you still haven't seen the flag. I'm sure you will eventually. It's only a matter of time. That pattern looks much nicer than the other one. Oh, the store is expanding already. I knew I was playing it a lot, but I didn't think I was playing it that much. Well, I was gonna stop playing, but if he's gonna expand the store already, then I want to pay off the rest of the first debt at least before the night's over. So that way I can get my house expansion done in preparation for his new store opening. New snowballs spawn every day, and I just have this compulsion to roll them, just like I have this compulsion to talk to Buck every time he walks on screen. You know, I should be getting the last 2,000-something bells to pay off the debt. That was the idea, but now I'm rolling snowballs and talking to the animals again. Even though you know, time's running out. If Tom Nook's store closes before I pay off the debt, then I have to wait a whole day. Because he's going to be closed tomorrow. Yep, we do have a dresser back at my house. Collect wrestling uniforms? I only know of one wrestling uniform in this game. I didn't know there was more than one. I'd like you to show me those sometime. Okay, got done lots of fishing grinding, which wasn't exactly fun, but it is what it is. And now the first debt is all paid off. So now I can talk to Nook and get the house expanded tomorrow. Well, it will get expanded overnight, but, you know, it will be finished being expanded tomorrow. Assuming I talk to Nook, which I need to do before he closes his store. Didn't do a whole lot besides pay off the debt tonight, but I look forward to talking more to Margie. Because, she didn't boot me out of her house, but she said, hey, I'm busy, which she clearly was. So I wasn't gonna pester her. Unlike Sable. You know, Sable is also clearly busy, but I am going to pester her because I've watched a lot of anime and I know how this works. I'm very glad that at least one of the trees we planted did not die. I'm glad one of them lived. Granted, it was the one that leads to Nook's Cranny, so it was the least necessary one, but still. I mean, I'm pretty sure no matter what I say, you're gonna tell me I should expand, but in this case I do actually want to expand the house, because I need a place to put all my furniture that I'm gonna be buying, no doubt. You know, I always choose sky blue. I don't see any reason to change that this time. Sky blue is a great color. It's also a classy color, which is what we're trying to do here. Just be classy. You can't tell me my current outfit isn't classy. It looks like an outfit from like some zombie apocalypse flick. Like I'd be the main character or secondary character in some zombie apocalypse film, and I would have a shotgun instead of a fishing pole. That's what this outfit says to me. I hope it says that to you too. Yeah, I guess that was productive, if nothing else. And you get a look at the inside of the house real quick. A lot happened in here. Got a piano now, and the piano will look much less stupid after the house is expanded. Also have a lamp instead of a candle, thank God for that. Plus that plant in the bottom left corner is real fancy. So yeah, things in here are looking real nice, and they'll look even better with a bigger house. So I'm looking forward to that. Guess that's about it.